In this episode, you get a breakdown of the quote, "There cannot be time without thought." Welcome to Energy Alignment for Entrepreneurs, the podcast helping online service based entrepreneurs reduce stress, balance emotions, and grow a profitable business in less time. I'm your host, Justin Igliscus. Let's hop into it. In today's episode, you'll discover why overthinking and obsessing with time can make you miserable, when to break out of the small box some people may be trapped in, and how to be fully accountable and align with your investment of time. Let's start with a quote. So, what does that imply? There cannot be time without thought. And we're going to look at a story, right? And you can take the story of any life, but today you're walking down a path. And this path that you're walking down, you know, the the water is on the shore. So you're by the coast and you can hear the waves. You can see the birds. It's bringing you this energy of, unpredictability and constant change. And this is where you can find yourself in a state where somehow, some way, you forgot about who you were. And when I say that, it doesn't matter how long, but the point is that there was a state where you were not thinking, and without thinking, there wasn't time. You were in a state of timelessness. Now, the word, the phrase actually, you were, is implying that there's the past. So we drop that. That's fine. And I'm not saying that there isn't a past. Of course, there is a past, right? If you look at your life, you take any physical form of aging, a child does turn into something which is no longer a child throughout days passing, which we label yesterday or the past. And but right here, right now, our relationship to time is nothing without thought. So, what we're saying is that there are moments in your life where you're not thinking, and therefore there is no time. And that's where that word timelessness can be used. And we'll take a moment to question, like, what is the essence? What is the fundamental root? What is the background to the implication of the word timelessness? And so, if we cannot have time without thought, we're looking at a mechanism which is seamlessly paired together, right? It's almost like, well, can you have that cup of water without the empty cup, right? It's the water itself is a beautiful thing as the water is malleable, but when the cup is empty, it it's also a beautiful thing. And then you pair those together, it's like, wow. Yup. Hence male and feminine. Like it's the same theme. You can see this unfolding so many different ways in our life. But then there's one theme which is the root of all themes. And that's what we're talking, that there cannot be time without thought, right? Because whether it's black and yellow, or feminine and masculine, or uh, hot and cold, like there's duality. But when we look at this point, time and thought, this is where things really get interesting because you're uprooting the the foundation upon which all else is built. All of our world, all of humanity sprouts from time and thought. But we, as human beings, which are extraordinarily intelligent, when we're connected to that truth, which has an essence of creation, that truth, that essence of creation is also void of time and thought. So I'm here, obviously, still in the duel, right? You can still, look at my clothes. It's cold out. Guess so. Take care of yourself. Be comfy. Look good. So obviously, still in the duel, but at the same time, you can really get a sense for the deeper nature, the underworkings which create reality, our lives. And the meaning behind this religious essence, right? Somehow, some way, we've been brought into a game. As the world isn't just something shallow when you consider the amount of water, the amount of different species, volcanoes, natural disasters, but also the intelligence of the human mind, AI, engineers, submarines, jets, engineering, manufacturing, distribution, technology, startups, infrastructure, architecture, blue collar. Like, the amount of things created via thought within time, it's almost so much that we can't measure it, but yeah, we can because AI can have the supercomputer mind, which is so much more powerful than all humans, right? So we get to this point where it's so obvious that life is complicated. But there's one state, right? There's this place in life where all complexity, the root of complexity, has dissipated because all complexity is derived via thought and time. Again, right? You look at how long the amount of time it takes for Elon Musk to create whatever he's engineering, et cetera, for all this government reform and policies to be built throughout history. All of this has taken time, but there's still that one thing, that essence which people try to capture in the books, the religious text. There's that essence which is absolutely beyond measurement. And, right? How do we incorporate that into our work? Well, you can very much see in 2025, we have 4K recording, we can upload, we can do AI. We have such ease in 2025 in terms of, yeah, there are people with wealth, with material houses, with real dream lives. Like, you know, they got chefs, they got like abundance of wealth. But there's still, right? I don't know how happy they are. Now, I'm not one of those billionaires, knock on wood, not we'll see what happens. But I'm not here to create my life with the motive to be a billionaire. Why? Because of the real essence, right? The timelessness. When you're not stuck in this limited state of being, then you may stumble upon a free state of being. And that free mind can guide you. It's your thinking mind, the timing, the planning, the seeking security through overthinking and planning. That's what creates the void in your life. And it's difficult, right? Because part of you is like, yeah, you're timeless, you're not bound, you're infinite. But how do you let that guide you in this life, right? Because obviously you need to pay your bills, you need clothing, you need food. Like that's mm, something bad kind of happens if you don't take care of the fundamentals, right? And you shouldn't consider not taking care of the fundamentals. I feel the message here is that balance between, like, how do I take care of the fundamentals while still inviting this this way of moving that has nothing to do with me operating through scarcity and through fear and through conformity to society, culture, and tradition. But as you see your own truth, you wake up to the timeless nature, you notice your thinking, you realize that you're not the one who thinks while still being that one who thinks. You see all this and it's unfolding in you, then there's this life force which shows you what is bringing you in alignment and what's skewing, what's straying, what's imbalancing your walk on the tightrope. And it's that sort of moment to moment insight, those epiphany moments, it feels like, right? The creator sent an arrow of truth into you. You can't make that up, but you also can't force it. So it's like you'll get that arrow, you got to squeeze what you can out of it and learn what you can, and then continue to get trapped in time and thought. Like, I don't know what else you can do, to be honest. But now let's go into these points quick. Why overthinking and obsession with time can make you miserable. And right, it's because naturally you are meant to have moments where your space-time continuum is broken. Like you're meant to have moments where your entire chemistry in your body re reshapes, where real alchemy happens and the material cells shift due to an energetic alignment that is beyond you. You can't force it. You can't want it, but you can let it happen by noticing that you have some form of mind that is of a religious essence, and that mind, that heart, that energy is pulling you to live and truly be vital, to lessen the distraction, to be more honest, to cut out the stimulation, to enjoy isolation or solitude. I like solitude because it has a healthier frame, whereas isolation can be derived from fear and scarcity and escapist vibes. Hopefully that's clear. Now, when to break out of the small box some people may be trapped in. And this is when the walls of the box are closing in to the point where you get this rage that you have to break, you know? Like, you can only bully someone so much until their real strength explodes. Now, some people, they may curl up, curl up, curl up. They may curl up until they're really dead, like 1 millisecond away from being dead. And then the universe will send that arrow of truth, which is in that moment, it could manifest in a strong rage, but it's like they didn't choose that. It's like somehow, some way, you were being an instrument for yourself and others. Like they needed to feel what it felt to get you to that point and then to see you explode. Like that all had to happen. Um, and this is what I mean. Like these sorts of moments in your life, you can't predict. But if you're honest about opportunities that it's like something divine is at work here. Like the energy's too potent, too concentrated. It's too strong of a moment for there not to be a inherent lesson within. If you can be honest with yourself and start to realize when that cauldron is being stirred, then you can kind of taste the fruit of that being in that situation. Now, how to be fully accountable and align with your investing of time. And this, one of my favorite methods is just to do a holistic audit on your life. But do this like over weeks. Start one day at a time. Every day, write down everything that you do from zero to bedtime. And if you're honest with yourself, you're going to notice, yeah, I picked up my phone for like 1 minute or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, like 4 times before 2 p.m. Yeah, if you add up your whole day, then you get to this point where it's like, w- was putting 2 hours of my time into scrolling, is that actually helping me? And you're going to just see this stuff crack away. because it's so obvious when you look at it what it's doing to you. Like, that's where your days go bad, are those small moments that stack up. And so many of us just don't break down and do the math of 1 plus 1 equals 2 in relationship to junk food, to weird habits like just wasting time or arguing mentally or gossiping. Um, those are some of the most destructive ones, right? Let me give you a few pillars. Essentially, we need to do an audit. And in this audit, we're going to be looking for a few themes. Number one is, when am I wasting time with technology? That's a huge theme. So break down every moment in your day sincerely and then tie it back to that theme. When am I wasting time with technology? Then, when am I wasting energy with petty psychology? So that's the second theme, meaning, yeah, gossiping, meaning judgment of others, meaning judgment of self. Write about that. First of all, the specific things you're judging about yourself, they are meant to be noticed. Like those judgments, if you can restate them, not in a friendly way, but restate those judgments neutrally. So, because one of the traps with wanting to change is that the more you want to change, the less likely you are to change. And it's because it's kind of like your two rams butting horns, right? Or the deer, the men, when they're wanting to send a strong message for the ladies. They, right? They do that. It's this being honest about when you're doing that with yourself. And it's like the bad action, it's not really bad, creates the judgment, which is like, okay, I did something bad. Now I'm feeling bad, like judging the fact that I did this thing. Then holistically, you can like take this step back and see, wait, but I'm going to be gossiping about others or I'm going to be judging myself. And both of those energetically create a state, a vibration, a frequency, which is not at all where you're meant to operate from, like holistically. Now, you will have those moments and then you feel those moments and you learn because you're like, oh, these moments are not it. They're just not it. So I'm digressing. Let's do the recap. Why overthinking and obsession with time can make you miserable. And the narrowing and self obsession leads to a limited space, which is not at all what you truly are. So that conflict hurts. Now, when to break out of the small box some people may be trapped in. When you feel so done with being done, then it's time to really surrender and make some changes without being too aggressive. So, how to be fully accountable and align with your investing of time. Organization and healthy living snowballs so that a good life feels right and the benefits of energetic alignment blossom. Yeah, yeah. So, summary, it's okay to have energy, of course, but just balance your life so that the material and self aspects don't wash your clarity away. Appreciate you. Sincerely, I appreciate you. Let's go. The new episodes are out every Monday, Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Few things. Link in description. You'll get your free psychological journaling prompts. And number two, you'll get a 11-page doc on how to reduce stress and anxiety. Third, 2 to 4 new weekly emails. So I say, why not, right? Grab your gift below. See you soon. Let's go.